Detroit PD let some people in without being wanted by the Secret Service. So Secret Service has re-shut down, resealed the entire Huntington Place Center, and they're re-wanding everybody. They had the explosive dogs go around looking for pipe bombs to make sure nothing was planted, and they've re-wanded every single person that's in here. Everyone is now being kept outside. All those hundreds of people now have to go through the magnetometers again because there was that security breach. Because President Trump is coming today, and so this entire event is now a Secret Service protected event.
At a Turning Point USA event where Trump was set to appear, there was a gun-related security breach, meaning everyone had to go back through the metal detectors for a second time, and they were re-wanded. Now, Trump doesn't allow guns at his events, and he is the de facto head of the party that will insist that guns are totally safe and fine as long as they're in the hands of the good guys, whoever those good guys even are. That argument doesn't make much sense though, when the restrictions and requirements for someone to purchase a gun are so lax that practically anyone can buy a gun. There is no good guy screening process.
No gun-free zones.
Okay, so more guns.
Yep. Can't fight fire with water. You gotta fight fire with fire.
You can't fight fire with water?
Yeah. Depends on what's in the fire.
They specifically do fight fire with water.
Yeah.
We love you, Roseanne. We love you. I'm signing this especially for you. And we love everything you represent. Keep fighting. Thank you.
The Republicans are also the party that believes that guns should be allowed in public spaces like parks and schools, and that they don't contribute to tense or fraught situations, or that they're not inherently dangerous or deadly. This is the party that wants more guns in schools, not less. According to them, guns are fine around children with maybe a few security guards patrolling the entire student body, but they're not okay at an event where Trump will be, even though he's got his own personal security detail.
Your concept and your idea about it's called concealed carry, and it only works where you have people very adept at using firearms, of which you have many. And it would be teachers and coaches. If the coach had a firearm in his locker when he ran at this guy, that coach was very brave. Saved a lot of lives, I suspect. But if he had a firearm, he wouldn't have had a run. He would have shot, and that would have been the end of it.
The hypocrisy is blatant. They'll argue that Trump is a former president, so he should be protected from this thing that they also insist is not a public threat. But as far as I'm concerned, Trump's life is not any more valuable than anyone else's. He's just a regular private citizen as far as I'm concerned. If guns aren't allowed around him, then why are they allowed around children? That question is mostly rhetorical because we all know what the answer they'll give is. It's the same thing that they've been saying since Columbine, but shootings in this country have only escalated since then. They've escalated since I was in school. I never had to do an active shooter drill. So it doesn't matter if they keep saying the same things over and over again. They can say it all they want, but it doesn't change the fact that guns kill people and that this is a uniquely American problem. But freedom, yes, freedom. This country is strange because, for one, we act like we're the only free nation in the world. We're not, and yet we're the ones with all of the gun violence. And also, we have this contingent of so-called patriots who, for as much as they love this country, are incredibly distrustful of its leadership and institutions to the point that they think that they need to arm themselves in advance of some impending revolution or anarchy or whatever. And what's ironic about that is that I don't blame anyone for being distrustful of this government or of any government. That's something I think most people can probably see eye to eye on. That governing bodies with disproportionate power and authority over a populace, even in a democracy, should be looked at critically by the governed population. We're supposed to criticize our government and our leaders. We're supposed to hold them accountable for the things that they do or don't do. We're supposed to look out for ourselves, both as individuals and as a collective. Furthermore, the notion that people just want to live their lives with as little government intervention as possible is, I would say, a popular notion on both sides of the aisle. The left is typically more aligned with big government, but even that has its limitations. Big government is only appealing if it's designed to function in such a way that it maintains order, keeps the population safe, and provides the services and protections that governments are meant to provide. Government is a service that we all pay for for collectively, and we pay them to do a job. The problem is that we can't all be the boss, and wherever that sweet spot is between big and small government is going to be different for everyone. The big government argument is that protection should be put in place to ensure that everyone is safe and that things are run smoothly. And if that means implementing some reasonable restrictions here and there, then so be it. But again, people will have very different ideas of what's reasonable and what isn't. The argument for small government is that no one likes being told what to do. I sure don't, but even for me, even for a person who is very stubborn sometimes, or who doesn't like being told what to do, or who doesn't always respect authority, even I get that not everyone should be allowed to just walk around with deadly weapons. And I live in Texas, and here we tend to get both sides of the gun argument, unlike other places around the country. We all have guns. We have all shot guns. But even Texans, Republicans and Democrats, rural and urban Texans think that gun violence could at least be curbed if, say, the gun show loophole was closed, or if it was just a tiny bit more difficult for the average person to gain access to a gun. It's really not asking much. But Republicans, specifically the very pro-gun ones, because not all Republicans are gun crazy, they've turned a very nonsensical problem that has a very common sense solution into a dogmatic ideological battleground, one in which they can talk themselves into circles until they're blue in the face, making arguments that are constantly disproven every time swaths of innocent people die from gun violence. It's literal textbook insanity, and they're making us all live and die through it with them. So I guess what I'm saying is that Republican hypocrisy isn't worth anyone dying for. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks.